All right, so in today's video, I'm clearly going to be doing a good old ship with me. Now, yesterday was a really good sales day despite me not really doing anything. You already know I switched to Nifty in July and they have been running my business. Like, I have been so scared of artificial intelligence when it comes to just how it's going to take over our future. However, I just kind of let it go when it comes to Nifty and just let them do what they got to do so I can make my sales and make my money. Okay. So yesterday was a really good sales day. I did have sales across all 4 platforms that I resell on, which is Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. I have a total of $300 worth of sales here. Ironically enough, that's the exact amount that I'm going to be shipping out, and it is a total of 12 sales. I do have a ASP of $25, so that's actually really good. On Poshmark, I sold 5 items. Depop, I sold 4. eBay, I sold 2. And Mercari, I sold 1. So yeah, let's just jump in. The first one is actually these Old Navy joggers. Now, ironically enough, we all know that Old Navy is just not that girl. However, when it comes to like those sought after pieces or like those styles that are really good, they do perform. So I actually posted this one yesterday. So out of the 12 sales, 1/3 of them was actually items that I listed just this week. This one actually sold yesterday. So 2 of them I listed the same day and they sold the exact same day. So this was one of the items. And I took to my Instagram to let people know like, hey, clearly this is a sought after style. And one of my mutuals actually let me know that this was a viral pair of joggers, which I thought was really interesting just because, you know, it sold within like, you know, I want to say it was within like 2 hours of me listing it. So it was a really fast turnaround. And that one is actually going to Fort Myers, Florida. All right, the next one was a style-based pickup. The brand is called True Luxe Jeans. I've picked up this brand before in a plus-size top, and I don't think that one sold just yet. But this one, the style was perfect for the season that we are in. Y'all know I did do a video talking about all of the like fall bolos, and this particular style is exactly what I was talking about. It's that velvet kimono style. This one also was paired well with like keywords. Y'all already know I love a good pair of keywords. But I made sure that I put like witchy, you know, fairy and all of that in it. And this one did sell. This was one of the items that sold that I actually listed this week. So this was like a day turnaround. But honestly, if you find anything similar to this, I would highly suggest you pick it up. Of course, you do need to know how to market it because I do think that that's actually really important in these times that we live in now in the reselling space. So yeah, I did use quite a bit of keywords to help get this one to the right buyer. This one is actually going to Maumee, Ohio. I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me get my Hulk so I can put these in there. Okay, so the next one is another item that I actually listed yesterday and it sold yesterday. This one, I received such a cute little counter offer and I was just like, of course it's yours. So I went on and accepted it because it was just like $2 off. And these are just a pair of Uniqlo trousers. I sourced these on Wednesday, and this particular day it was not a good day. I even checked comps on this one, and I just knew moving toward the fall and winter, like this type of style is going to be like more popular. Unfortunately, this wasn't like a wool piece. It looked like wool, but it wasn't. Uniqlo is one of those brands where it's really hard to like pinpoint like the exact style that performs the best, so you really have to just go off of knowledge. And for me, I knew that like fleece or wool like trousers, wide leg specifically, will kind of like, you know, sell during this time. But this one is actually going to Norwalk, Cincinnati. I think that's Cincinnati. Okay, next one is another piece that I actually listed this week and it sold. This one is a Viore top. This is another one where they sent me a really reasonable offer and I quickly accepted it because you already know we are in the business in making sales and not having a storage unit. So you already know Viore is definitely a really good brand to just look out for in general because it's Viore. But they are slowly declining, unfortunately. So you do have to be mindful with how much you pay for it. But I did pay for this at the bins. All of these are from the Goodwill outlet here in Dallas, Texas. Y'all know I source there 99.9% of the time. I have just started back going to regular thrift stores, but for the most part, I just enjoy going to the bins because I do not play about my net profit. So the bins help me keep my margins exactly where I want them. And yeah, so this is a really good sale. This one is going to Roanoke, Virginia, I want to say. But the next one is actually a pair of Not Your Daughter straight leg pants. These were a nice style going into the season. They are a velour style. Now, unfortunately, I've definitely had these for a while just because of this crinkled paper. That lets me know that these are, you know, dated back to before December. So this is definitely a 2024 piece, and it finally sold. I don't typically like to keep pieces longer than 9 months because y'all know I do the buy, sell, trade store thing. So I like to cycle out old inventory. But since I got my new, you know, system here, I kind of didn't want to go through them and kind of undo the work that I've already done because it just would be too much. So whatever is placed in these boxes, they stand in these boxes until one day where it's like super slow. Probably next July, maybe I'll go through them and do like an audit or something. But as of now, I don't want to go back through it. If y'all been here for over a year, y'all saw that I used to work from 4 to 9 getting this inventory together. This one is going to be for all the boxes and all the fun things. Okay, I see it. Hey. And you know, from 9 to about 8 p.m. working on the rest of my business. So it was a lot of time getting this in order and just kind of cleansing my inventory and just properly organizing everything. And I just kind of don't want to have to go through that again. So that's why it's so important to just pick up items that are going to sell. But this one is going to be going to 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂, Florida. A lot of Florida here so far. All right, so this is a brand called 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂, I want to say. It is from Urban Outfitters. I've picked this brand up a few times and it has sold for me. I typically try to stick to like the sweatpants, you know, wide leg. Joggers are not really like the it girl, so you'd really have to pick up like a really good brand in order for the joggers to sell. But as far as like the sweatpants where they're like wide leg or straight leg, they will perform better, and you will only get about 20 bucks, but you already know that that is my business model. I like to sell things for $20 and over. I put $1.50 in, flip it to $20 and over, and that's pretty much where I'm at. But this one is going to be going to Santa Ynez, California. Hopefully I said that right, but it don't sound like it. All right, the next one is a piece that I actually sold already, and they lied and it came back to me. And I was okay with it coming back just because I knew that I had sold it for a little bit lower than it should have went, just because this is a really good brand. And we went back and forth. It's an 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 robe, but we went back and forth and they ended up putting in a false claim. And I did talk about it in a vlog, but they put in a false claim saying that it was flawed, but I really think it was just buyer's remorse. So I didn't have a problem with like fighting too hard on that, just because I knew I sold it for a lot less than it should have went. It sold for $40 then, but this one turned around and sold for $50. So this was a pretty good pickup. 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 is just one of those brands where it's just like really good. It kind of feels like Skims, if I'm being honest, like that modal fabric where it's just really soft to the touch, kind of similar to Soma. I feel like Soma has like the same fabric with it. But this one is going to be going to Fort Collins, Colorado. So this one is actually, I want to say it's from one of those, like, y'all know those Indian dresses and stuff like that. I think that's exactly what this is from. But when I saw it at the bins, I just kind of knew that I was going to sell this to the right buyer. So I went on and grabbed it and I put the right keywords for it, and it just pretty much gave everything it needed to give. And I knew that it was going to be a good seller. So this was a style-based pickup for sure. Y'all know I love a good style-based pickup. I feel like my business has definitely been overturned with style-based pickups because I feel like they warrant a lot of money, and a lot of people don't really care to pick them up because they don't know how to sell it. And you already know I am a part of the Resellers Edge University, and they help me, you know, sell these items. But this one is actually going to be going to Fairfield, California. So we got a lot of Florida and California sales. All right, the next one is this men's polo Ralph Lauren vest. Really, really, really nice. I picked this up, I want to say a little over a month ago, and I was hesitant because I feel like this brand is just oversaturated, like to the capacity. But I feel like if you pick up things that people want, you can sell it. So it's good to pick up, you know, the ones that have like a style name to it, and then you can look up that style, the color, and the size, and kind of narrow down your comps, and then you'll know like, okay, this is pretty much the price point that I'm going to get for this item. Is it worth it? Is it not? And that's what I do now when it comes to Polo Ralph Lauren, just because it is oversaturated. But going in, I knew that I was going to be able to use certain keywords to get this one to sell, and it did work out. So I was really happy with this turnaround, because typically Polo Ralph Lauren just takes a very long time to sell for me, but this one actually didn't. This one is going to Hamden, Cincinnati. So cute. He actually just messaged me today and asked me when I was going to ship, and I said I'm going to ship it today. All right, this is another piece. The brand is called Zanana. Again, I pick up style-based pieces, and this one is definitely old because I got the crinkle paper back in 2024, which was not a good idea because I absolutely hate how noisy it is. So there's that. But this was, like I said, a style-based pickup, and it was a pretty good size. So I feel like when it comes to style-based pieces, when you pick up those and you get them in a large or an extra large, oh, honey, you are going to get a good sale with that one, because I feel like for the most part, like size extra small and small is pretty sought after when it comes to those style-based trendy pieces. But it's some thicker girls out there that want to still look, you know, trendy. So they are looking for those styles. So when you find them, I feel like they perform pretty good. All right, this one is also going to Fairfield, California. Very interesting. Okay, the next one is a brand called Lucy in the Sky. Now, I've come across this brand quite a few times at the bins, and it just never warranted the pickup because the comps on the brand is actually not that good. I'm thinking maybe some years ago it was really good, but not right now. So I had to play in a lot of factors for this item. I knew that, okay, this is definitely going to be a great like New Year's Eve dress, just because it is sequins, but it was like this emerald green. It was very, very luxe, great for a party or a cocktail, like a good event. If somebody is throwing their own like type of, you know, home event or outdoor event, who knows, I don't know. I just knew that this was just going to be like really special, so I went on and grabbed it despite the comps, and this one did not take long to sell. We're talking maybe 2 weeks. I did get some lower offers on it, but I knew that this one was definitely going to go for over $30 just because it had all of the wow factors. And honestly, I didn't plan on it selling until we got closer to January. So with it selling this quick, I'm really happy about it. But this one is gonna go to Sheboygan. What is WI? Wisconsin? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last piece, this one actually sold on Mercari. The one lonesome sale. And speaking of Mercari, y'all, it has been a desert over there. Like, it's been really sad. For some reason, I thought that once I shifted to Nifty and I sent out offers, like when they liked the item, I just knew I was going to start making a ton of sales, just because if y'all been here for at least about 6 months, I tried out this thing because the previous app that I was using, which was Flip, they had a system where I was able to send out bulk offers on Mercari. So when I would do that on Sundays, I would get a decent amount. We're talking like 4 or 5 sales. So I was like really utilizing the tool. And then once I found out that it was sending everybody the exact same offer every single time. So if I decided to send out a 30% off offer on Sunday to, let's say, 4 people that liked the item, by the time next Sunday got here, and let's say 7 people liked the item, so those 3 additional people, I'm thinking that it would just send it out to them if I did 30% off. No. It sent out that exact same 30% offer to everybody that already liked it the week before and that already received the first offer. So I said, oh no, this isn't going to work for me. So I decided to stop doing that because I didn't want to annoy people with you know, sending them constant offers, even though they could have just unliked the item. But yeah, I don't know the psychology behind liking something that you have no intentions of actually wanting. I do get the window shopping because when I am in that process of, you know, looking for things on the secondhand markets, I do like to like a few things and then go back to it and do like the process of elimination. But this literally happens within maybe 20 minutes, you know, worth of time, if that. And that's if I'm looking for that long. If I already found 5 of them that meet the size, that meet the price point, I'm narrowing it down, you know, at that point. But yeah, just unlike it if you don't want it. But anyways, this one is going to Voorhees, New Jersey. So I didn't even really get to talk about this item, but I found 2 of these at the bins. I have a red one and then I have this one, and they just looked really cute. And I felt like, okay, this would be like a really good like schoolgirl academia type of style because it had like the faux tie to it. And that's why I picked it up. But I would not suggest you pick up Wild Fox. This brand has died like a good year and a half ago. Like, it used to sell really well with their sweaters that were like, you know, cute and all that. But yeah, and you know what, I take that back because I just sold a Wild Fox sweater last week for like $35, but it had graphics all over it and it was like a sought after style. So if you can find a sought after style, then of course pick it up. That's why I am a big fan of Google Lens. I know that I am also with like Apple. I have an iPhone. They just created like this AI thing. I know Poshmark has an AI thing where you can essentially look for the item by just, you know, either snapping a picture up or uploading the picture. And I use Google Lens all the time when I'm at the bins. If I can't really like pinpoint the item with just like my verbiage and I need to like see, hey, is this going to be worth it? Google Lens, snap it, and then I look at price points, I look at solds, and if it makes sense, I pick it up. But yeah, that is all that I have. Like I said, that was all of my sales from yesterday. So it was a really good sales day. I typically sell between 8 to 10 items every single day, and I work Monday through Friday. Y'all know I just added this in actually. It's so much that I have to update y'all on. I just haven't really felt like doing a vlog just yet because I just don't have the bandwidth to do a vlog. But I added on Fridays just because I wanted to kind of like spread it out and not overwork myself 4 days a week. So I work 5 days a week now, and it's been helping, but I only list on 4 days. So I'm going to be trying out something new for next week where I list 16 items Monday through Friday versus me listing 20 items Monday through Thursday, because I noticed that when Monday comes here, I get a lot of like slow sales, because I think the algorithm is so used to me listing on a Monday that they're like, wait, what's going on? So I will go ahead and feed the beast, like they like to say, and start listing on Monday and just spreading it out and making it easier for myself. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for y'all. If you've made it this far, please leave this emoji because some of y'all don't be staying here that long. But if you stayed here that long, leave that emoji. And if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing and liking this video if you did enjoy my ship with me. And also let me know how your sales have been doing for September. Actually, by the time you see this video, it's not going to be September. But yeah, I've been filming videos a lot sooner than they have been coming out. So my September sales are on track to have the exact same month that I had in August. So if you watch that August recap video, September is trending to do the same thing, maybe even a little bit better. Who knows? But yeah, I will see you on the next one. Bye.